Okay, so I've been looking, and the best investment in CS2 right now might actually be a knife. And before you close the video because you think I'm going to say a butterfly knife or a karambit, I'm not. Those two do very well for themselves and they're priced accordingly. I'm talking about a knife that you probably forgot exists at this point. It came with CS2 and it's been living in the shadows ever since. And it is quietly setting up to be the next best play in CS2. The Kukri Knife. And you're probably thinking the Kukri Knife, the one that no one fucking uses. Correct. It's the knife no one uses yet, and that's why we're here. Now, to the uninformed, the Kukri Knife is the latest addition in terms of knives into Counter-Strike. It dropped with the Kilowatt Case in 2024, and it is also featured in the now discontinued Gallery Case, which came out a little bit later. And because it's new, most players simply just haven't warmed up to it yet. Right? Me and you, we both play the game. We don't like change. Dust2 is older than me. So it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from, we are creatures of habit. Creatures of habit to the point of it being a disservice. Because the Kukri Knife is not ugly. The Bowie knife is. The Falchion knife is. And that's not an opinion, it's backed up by 10 years of economic data. Which means they are objectively ugly, argue with a wall. The Kukri is what I like to classify as a steez knife. For context, the bayonet is also a steez knife. If you got good movement, if you got good skill, the knife looks good in your hands. If you're standing still and walking around like a bot, it's whatever. But the people that make it look good, they make it look really good. There's skill expression in those animations. But I'm not here to sell you on aesthetics. You'll realize that once you use it. I'm here to talk to you about the cold hard fundamentals and why they're very interesting for this knife in particular. Now, the Kukri exists in two cases as I established before. The Kilowatt Case and the Gallery Case. And as you know, the Gallery Case is discontinued as of September 2025. Valve removed it from the Armory, and instead of putting it into the rare pool, it was moved into the discontinued pool immediately. So now you can only get the case from the marketplace, and supply is finite. And we also have the Kilowatt. The Kilowatt is still in the active drop pool. But interestingly, despite it being one of the newer additions to the pool, according to opening statistics, it is the third least open case out of the active drop pool. The Revolution case, despite being older, still outperforms it. The Recoil case, despite being the oldest one, is only marginally behind it. And the Dreams and Nightmares case, which is 5 times the price, is also right behind it. Pretty safe, so we could pretty safely assume that this is the least popular case in the active pool at the moment. Now, Valve is a business. And while they usually give the cases sometimes to marinate, if it's an underperformer, a proven underperformer, Valve's not going to let it sit in there and take up spots that could be used on cases that do generate them revenue. If players aren't opening kilowatts, players aren't buying kilowatt keys. And Valve likes selling keys. This means that Kilowatt has a very large target on its back for being taken out in either the next update or the update after that. When, and not if, it moves to the rare drop pool. Suddenly, the two cases that house the Kukri Knife are either in rare pools or discontinued. And they don't warn you. Valve just takes the case and moves it into the rare pool. They often don't even leave it in the patch notes. You just have to figure it out for yourself. So if you're early, you benefit. If you're late, you're chasing. So some of you might be thinking, okay, we can trade up to Kukris now though, right? Sure. With what inputs? Let's take a look at the reds that trade up to Kukri knives. From the Kilowatt Case, you have the AK Inheritance and the AWP Chrome Cannon. These are expensive solely on their own merit. Right? Their value doesn't come from being able to trade up to the Kukri Knife because no one uses it right now. These were $100 reds before the update. These are high demand skins on high demand guns, which means they'll never go down. And from the gallery, much more of the same. Glock 18 Gold Toof and the M4A1S Vaporwave. The Glock will probably be the cheapest out of these four. However, it is part of the discontinued case, so it won't be that way for long, just based on market dynamics. The M4, on the other hand, has the same issue of a completely locked supply, but it is arguably one of the best M4s you've gotten in the game in years. Very, very, very highly sought after. And this is why the October crash didn't hurt the Kukri Knife as much as it did the other ones. Not many people were trading up to the Kukri Knife, for one, and the inputs aren't budget options. When your options are budget reds and you combine that with the fact that they trade up to now super high tier expensive knives, you're gonna have a fuck ton of supply flood the market. When your inputs are premium reds, and your outputs are a knife that nobody really wants, that same flood of supply does not happen. You're not going to throw 5 Vaporwaves in for a Kukri Knife. The inputs have more standalone value than the output itself. So you've got a discontinued case, you've got a very soon to be rare case, which can only point you in one direction, and that is the supply aspect of it. Now, it does rest on the Kilowatt Case moving out, but we just thought about it from the perspective of Valve. They will move that case to the rare pool if its low favor continues to be a trend. So we have our supply perspective down. What about demand? Do you like free stuff? Well, if you do, the wonderful ladies and gentlemen over at SkinsMonkey.com, today's sponsor, have put together such a beautiful Christmas event. From now until January 11th, simply log on the website and look at that top banner. It'll say claim free gift. Now, the gift can either be a new skin, it could be on-site balance, or it could be an increased deposit bonus. And if you're a smart investor, you'll use code Mike, which will give you an extra 5% bonus, which can bring you all the way up to 50%. And the more trades you make on the website, the more gifts SkinsMonkey will send to you. I got an M4A4 Evil Daimyo, so it's not like they're giving you safari meshes either. These are real nice skins. In addition to that, they've also prepared an advent calendar. Simply go on the website every day and claim an entry into a huge pool of giveaways. And again, these are nice skins. These Ruby Knife is the top prize right now. So thank you to SkinsMonkey for sponsoring, and thank you also for putting together such a nice and wonderful event for the community. Now, like for previous skins that have seen pumps, it always comes from one specific place, and that's going to be used by prominent players. One notable pro, one influencer, content creator, whatever. Just one of them. As soon as they start using the Kukri Knife and make it look good, the perception is going to shift overnight. Suddenly, everyone wants the knife that the pros are using. We've seen this play out before. Remember Simple with his Nomad knife. And the Kukri is built for this moment. It's a movement knife. It's a KZ knife. Pro players have good movement. They will make the knife look fucking good. Now, this part is not guaranteed, but it's just a bonus, right? We have very strong fundamentals on the supply side. So even if no pro uses it, you still have a knife with tightening supply and very strong fundamentals. You're now holding a knife that just had the benefit of a demand shock. So what's the actual play here? Well, Kukri knives start as low as $50 to $70 right now. And those are on finishes like the Boreal Forest, Safari Mesh, the ones you'd expect for that price range. Mid-tier finishes run in the low 100s to mid 100s. And the premium finishes like High Fades and Crimson Webs range from around $350 to around $500 for the rarer patterns. And the supply thesis works at every single price point. You're betting on the knife appreciating, not the finish. So pick what fits your budget. Now, if you believe in what I'm saying, but you yourself haven't warmed up to the Kukri yet, any of the 4 inputs I just listed to you will become good investments. All 4 of those skins are very, very popular in the game. But if you want a Kukri knife, you're going to have to lower the supply of at least one of them, which has a great outlook on the prospects of its price in the future. So if the Kukri is a little bit too expensive, but you can kind of get priced into that Glock, maybe buy that. If things go to my plan, a lot of plays open up. And these are plays that not anyone is doing right now. As for timeline, watch out for a few specific catalysts. First, the Kilowatt moving to the rare drop pool. That's your main catalyst in terms of supply. Second, majors, large events, because we're going to be looking out for pro adoption. That's your demand catalyst. Either one should move the price significantly, but if both happen, that's when it gets interesting. Now, is this the next butterfly? Call me crazy, but yes. Different knife, but shaping up to have the same life cycle. And we know this, we're just waiting for the market to catch up. And the best part about this play, even if I'm completely fucking wrong, you're still gonna be the most unique and cool motherfucker in the lobby with your new Kukri knife. Cheers.